So everyone's favorite former Kotaku editor, senior editor, turned waitress, allegedly. Just again, she could take the D, allegedly, but she can't take the L. So Alyssa files second amended complaint in lawsuit against SmashJT, alleging alt-right and Gamergate targeting. Ooh. Trying to use these buzzwords is to try to gain sympathy from people and from the court. In the ongoing lawsuit between former Kotaku journalist Alyssa, we don't say her name around here because her last name usually gets me hit with a ad suitability. And SmashJT, a new development has emerged. Alyssa has filed a second amended complaint, continuing her effort to hold JT accountable for what she claims is a campaign of online targeting. The filing expands on her ideological accusations, tying JT to so-called alt-right and invoking the specter of Gamergate, a nearly decade-old controversy that many legacy media outlets still cite as a cultural flashpoint. Is Gamergate in the room with us right now? While amended complaints are not unusual, a second revision often signals that a plaintiff is struggling to establish a legally durable case. You don't say. So what's changed and what hasn't? Is this latest in this latest attempt? Will Alyssa be able to succeed in suing JT, or will he countersue and sue her for everything she's worth? Will Vegeta be able to defeat Frieza before Goku wakes up? Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. Full disclosure, YouTube personality SmashJT is represented in his lawsuit against Alyssa by Ron Coleman and the Coleman Law Firm. That Park Plays, WW Pro, and Valiant Renegade, and likewise legally represented by Mr. Coleman in unrelated matters when necessary. Your discretion is advised. Why a second amended complaint matters. A second amended complaint typically indicates the plaintiff's earlier claims lack enough evidence or specificity to survive initial scrutiny. It's like hitting reset in the middle of the game, allowed but not a great sign. In this scenario, Alyssa has revised and expanded her lawsuit claim against JT, attempting to patch weaknesses that JT's attorney, free speech expert Ron Coleman, targeted in earlier filings. What has Alyssa added or changed in her lawsuit? Alyssa's new complaint introduces several detailed changes, noticeably increasing in length and I can't talk today. I can't. Specificity. I got it. Whatever. Whatever. Specificity. Crazy what a little water does. H2O. Really, it's that freaking second. It's that second hydrogen. Really, it is. Where was I? Compared to other earlier filings, here's the breakdown. Here's the 411. Here's the sitch. Expanded accusations of online harassment, stochastic terror. The most significant update in Alyssa's complaint revolves around her claims of what she calls intentional stochastic terror. This alleges that JT's critical online commentary indirectly encouraged negative actions from his followers. Oh, you mean just like how she put a 50-something page document on Twitter and didn't redact his address, and people were basically calling and doxing him and all that, where him and his wife and children live? You mean like that? Where she was basically encouraging it? You mean like that? Everything this fucking bitch accuses someone else of, she's always the one guilty of doing. Alyssa argues JT deliberately provoked or tolerated follower harassment, knowing it would harm her reputation and career. Well, guess what? You put his actual family at risk. You know, at the house where his wife, and children reside. Specific accusations regarding defamation. Alyssa expands her lawsuit allegations of defamation by adding greater detail around specific statements JT made in his videos, and she insists that JT deliberately misrepresented her professional competence and personal character, particularly attacking her credibility and integrity as a journalist. Oh no! Oh no! Whatever will I do, Yugi boy? I can't survive this sort of thing. The complaint cites specific videos and direct quotes where JT criticized her reporting, framing these criticisms as knowingly false statements rather than protected opinions. Alyssa attempts to illustrate how these alleged falsehoods directly impacted her employment opportunities and public reputation. Yes, because it was his opinions, not the fact that she's a fucking unhinged bitch who can't keep her mouth shut, and she goes online whining about these people and trying to sue them and this and that. The dude where he said about her a very specific kind of service that she allegedly used to provide, where she makes 15 jokes or so about it. Like, oh, how did you get into the journalism or gaming journalism or the game industry? I sucked D. Okay, he's just taking what she said in a tweet and she's incriminating herself. She's defaming herself. But people like her aren't exactly smart. She wants to think she's smart, but she's not. The complaint cites specific video, blah, 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 attempts to illustrate as alleged falsehoods, directly impacted her opportunity and public reputation. In her updated complaint, Alyssa explicitly states that due to the sustained online backlash allegedly initiated by JT's content, she was eventually asked to resign. You mean the position where she willingly left? Where she willingly left? Because that's what she said. She said she will, and there's tweets saying that she willingly left Kotaku. But now apparently it's she was eventually asked to resign. That doesn't sound like willingly left. So which is it, Alyssa? Did you willingly leave or did you get fired? Because you were posting all over that you willingly left Kotaku. That, people being laid off and all that had nothing to do with you leaving. You did it on your own free will. That was a choice that you made and you made alone. But now you're trying to say, oh, well, they asked me to leave. They asked me to resign because of all the harassment. Looks like someone's a lying fucking bitch, aren't they? However, proving that JT's commentary specifically influenced Kotaku's decision-making, rather than broader public reaction or internal company factors, remains a significant challenge for Alyssa's case. Emotional distress. This chick cries on TikTok all the fucking time, or whatever she uses to stream. The updated complaint more explicitly defines Alyssa's claims of emotional distress. Previously more general, these claims now include details about specific online interaction. Like, this bitch has no problem coming out and interacting with others, harassing them, possibly, sending her fucking group after them. But oh no, rules for thee, but not for me. It's okay if I send people to harass others online, but if it happens to me, oh, poor Alyssa, oh, woe is me. Fucking bitch. And of course, they always try to claim mental health issues. That's because that's what they are in a nutshell. That's all they are fucking mental health issues. Every one of these people who do this kind of crap, oh, my anxiety, oh, my PTSD, oh, my this, my that. Like fucking Paimon's VA, Karina, constantly brings up mental health issues, like it's some kind of fucking shield to hide behind. How about you act like a woman your age and stop hiding behind mental health issues like a fucking shield? And you wonder why people are coming after you. Oh, they know about my mental health issues. Oh. New claims related to the YouTube's algorithm and monetization. A new angle added by Alyssa involves allegations regarding YouTube's algorithm. She claims JT knowingly exploited YouTube's monetization systems, amplifying negative content about her, specifically to increase his financial gain. Well, if I recall, she allegedly admitted, and I say even though she outright admitted it, I have to say allegedly admitted to allegedly stripping on, online stripping. So she provided a service where she would expose her body and, get paid for it. So you're doing what you need to make money, and he's doing what he needs so he can make money. What's the problem here, Alyssa? She argues this commercial motive demonstrates intent to cause harm for personal profit, further supporting her claim of defamation and emotional distress. Ideological accusations. Alyssa's second amended complaint leans heavily on ideological framing, alleging that JT is part of an alt-right media ecosystem tied to what she describes as Gamergate 2.0. She accuses him of using the language of a confrontational younger conservative movement in an effort to energize outrage-driven campaigns. The filings reference JT's use of hashtags like hashtag #Kotaku. Oh my god, that fucking Nazi. Okay, like, I understand that there's probably a lot of people watching who are fucking stupid and will probably look like, oh my god, she's 100% right. But then you have the normal people on both sides who are looking at that like, yeah, she's fucking stupid. Hashtag #Kotaku is not fucking far right or alt right or. Again, this woman likes to think she's intelligent. She likes to think she's intelligent. And his criticisms of narrative consultants like Sweet Baby Inc. as signs of a broader reactionary conspiracy. According to Alyssa, his content exploits what she calls bugbears of the alt-right, and she characterizes the backlash to her article on Sweet Baby Inc. as part of a sequel to the original Gamergate movement. In an apparent effort to shore up jurisdictional weaknesses, Alyssa has amended her complaints to include claims that JT operates a website hosted by Wix, a platform with offices in New York, which she argues creates sufficient contact with the state to justify venue in the Eastern District. This change suggests an attempt to overcome the personal jurisdiction challenge raised by Ron Coleman's original motion to dismiss, which highlighted JT's California residence and questioned the appropriateness of New York as the legal venue. Whether the court will find the Wix connection persuasive remains to be seen, but it's clear the complaint is evolving specifically in response to jurisdictional pressure. Oh, Well, if you pay for her services, you know where some of her holes are. Allegedly. Despite these expanded arguments, serious vulnerabilities remain in Alyssa's lawsuit. Let's explore them one by one. The difficulty in proving indirect harm. Legal precedent strongly favors defendants in cases of direct harm from online speech. Courts consistently uphold the First Amendment's protection for criticism, even aggressive criticism, as long as it does not directly incite illegal action or explicitly instruct harassment, which he never did. Now, her, on the other hand, encouraging her people to basically dox the guy. Alyssa's stochastic terrorism claim relies on proving that JT knew or intended that his followers would harass her, something exceedingly difficult without concrete evidence, such as a direct messages instructing her followers to harass. Opinion versus fact distinction. Defamation hinges on distinguishing provable falsehoods from protected opinions. JT's representative. Oh, there it is. I was like, "Where's my other slipper? My other slipper." Represented by Ron Coleman, previously argued his content merely expressed harsh criticism of Alyssa's professional work. The amended complaint attempts greater specificity by the nature of YouTube commentary, often filled with subjective opinion, is challenging to legal categorize as actionable defamation. Yeah, it's criticism. Now, if he was to say, "Oh man, I want all my followers to go out there and do this," no, he's not doing any of that. He's saying that she's a shit fucking journalist, that she used to suck D, and these are all things that she said about her specific line of work. So emotional distress claims require a higher bar. Intentional infliction of emotional distress requires proving severe harm directly attributable to the defendant's actions. Courts typically require documentation of significant medical or psychological impact directly traceable to the defendant's conduct. Alyssa's claim might struggle here without substantial documented medical or psychological evidence clearly linking JT's videos to severe emotional harm. Monetization claims may lack legal precedent. Alyssa's allegations that JT abused YouTube's algorithm to profit introduces an innovative but untested legal theory. A legal theory. And case closed. Or something. I don't know what he would say. Courts historically hesitate to assign blame based on a platform's recommendation algorithm unless there's clear evidence of explicit misuse or coordinated manipulation. Alyssa faces a steep climb, proving JT intentionally engineered algorithmic amplification of defamatory content, as opposed to simply creating controversial videos that viewers organically shared. Yeah. She's just because you don't like what he has to say doesn't mean it's a direct attack. Like, these people, again, they claim to be college educated. Ideological accusations may weaken the cause. From a legal perspective, Alyssa attempts to tie JT to Gamergate 2.0 and the alt-right may weaken her case rather than strengthen it. Because then she's got to prove how he's part of the alt-right. Not just, oh, well, he put hashtag end Kotaku. The judge is going to be like, how is this far right? How is this alt-right? It just says hashtag end Kotaku. These aren't words of a Nazi or a far-right extremist. It's a simple little hashtag. Tell me how this is alt-right. These labels are broad, just like her. Politically charged, allegedly. Politically charged and often used with more as rhetorical weapons than objective descriptors. Courts typically require specific provable harm, not ideological disagreement or cultural commentary. The complaint does not establish that JT is coordinated with any larger movement, or that that his criticism rose to the level of actionable harassment. Instead, his videos largely fall under opinion-based commentary, which is protected under the First Amendment law. Framing criticism as part of an alt-right campaign may resonate with activist circles, but it's unlikely to persuade a judge unless it's backed by hard evidence of targeted defamation, malicious intent, or coordinated abuse, which this filing still fails to deliver. Simply citing a third-party platform like Wix may not be enough to establish personal jurisdiction. Courts typically look for purposeful activity directed at the forum state, not merely incidental use of a service with offices there. JT doesn't design the website with the intent to target or engage a New York audience, and if there's no evidence he uses the platform in a way that deliberately invokes benefits or protections of a New York law, the argument may be dismissed. Yeah. again, these are all relying on a hosting service headquartered in New York may be a huge stretch. Alyssa's Second Amendment complaint follows Ron Coleman's previously filed motion to dismiss her initial complaint. Filings, First Amendment right to criticize journalists, yeah. The absence of direct proof, yeah. Distinction between opinion and actual actionable defamation, a lack of jurisdiction in the state of New York, neither as he neither lives or nor conducts business there. Like, everything he's done is well protected under the First Amendment law. He's not telling people to go after her. He sits there and says how much of a fucking shitty person she is. If she doesn't like what he has to say, oh well, guess what? Freedom of speech, bitch. Freedom of speech. You don't get to go after someone and sue them just because you don't like what they have to say about you. When you come out there and say about how you do a specific line of work, proudly, I might say, you don't get to be all huffy puffy, hissy pissy about it when someone says, oh yeah, she used to do this. You're so proud about it, why not let other people talk about it? Don't you support that kind of work, Alyssa? So why not be loud and proud about it? If me or JT or whoever wants to, how you allegedly used to do it, why not wear it like a badge of honor? Because we're talking about your former alleged line of work. But this is one of the dumbest fucking people you will ever meet. She doesn't know when to shut up. She's constantly on Twitter going after people. And everything she does incriminates herself. She's been caught going through deleting tweets that could incriminate her, which is even more incriminating when you see the kind of tweets that she was deleting. There's nothing she can do. She has nothing. Everything she's accused him of doing, she has done. Again, she wants to fear for her safety when she posted a fucking 52-page document not redacting his address. Again, an address where he resides with his wife and children. But she was like, I fear for my safety. Me and my dog or cat or whatever the fuck she has, and her boyfriend, who may also be her dad, the way she worded things. She cares more about that than a place where a man lives with his wife and children. But what do you expect out of this kind of person? What do you expect? She doesn't fucking care. She's allegedly a waitress, so I'm not surprised that she's going through with this, trying to get some nice cash, like, because she thinks that if she wins, that's really all the money she'll ever need. She's gonna have such a payout if she was to win, and that's what she's hoping for. But that's not gonna happen. She has zero evidence, and all these claims and this trying to bolster these claims. The judge is going to be like, okay, how is hashtag #Kotaku an alt-right phrase? She's going to have to prove how it's alt-right. Like, what's she going to say? Well, I personally believe. Well, I don't care what you personally believe. You are suing this man and trying to tell him he's part alt-right because this is one thing he specifically posted. How is he alt-right? Well, I've lost opportunities because of him, and okay, we'll get to that. How is this alt-right? She's not going to have anything. But you know what? Let her crash and burn. Just let her. JT, when you win, I really hope, again, I've said before, you really need to take your family, because you're going to sue her for defamation, because she's dragging you through this ringer here, trying to get money out of you. Drag her now. And then when you win and get a lot of money, take your family on a nice vacation. Just to get away from everything for a bit. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.